Hi, this is Kristin from Align the Stars here with your November 2024 tarot forecast. So today we are going to take a look at the energies we're leaving behind, the energies we're moving towards, the overall theme for the collective for the month. We'll see if those will pop back up again. What opportunities are coming up? What do we need to release to embrace those opportunities? What challenges may be coming up, and some final guidance from our guides and team in spirit today. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been following me for a while, welcome back. Feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if all of your questions are answered for. I do recommend at this time that you set a bit of an intention for what it is you would like to receive from this reading today. So taking a few deep breaths in through the nose, through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Good. Getting nice and grounded and relaxed. Perfect. And today we're using the Modern Witch Tarot deck, which is one of my favorites and was actually one of my first decks that I ever purchased and has recently been coming back up for me. So I grabbed it right out of my tall bin of decks, and I think it's just the girl power in this deck. You know, there are no males in this deck. It is a all-female empowerment deck, which I just really love and resonate with. All right. Great, let's get started. All right, what energy are we leaving behind this month? Ooh, the Tower card. Yes, we always want to be leaving the Tower behind and not moving towards it. So I know personally last month was rough for me. This year has been rough really for me. So glad to see this destruction, the tumbling of our foundations, the sudden shakeups and chaos that you may have been feeling over the past maybe month, maybe many months, is in our rear view. So you should be feeling things settling down a bit, things coming to a resolve. Hopefully we're leaving this behind for the rest of 2024 and welcoming in 2025 with open arms and nothing but positive bliss on the horizon. But yeah, so some of you are probably like, you know, if you've been feeling like you're free falling and you don't know when you're going to land, and maybe it did land and it wasn't like a super solid landing. And if you can see this woman kind of pegged very violently on this rock over here, it's not always fun when we have these really big changes and upheavals in our life. And in fact, it can feel very scary and overwhelming and kind of like the rug's been ripped out from underneath you. So if that's been you and you've just been like putting out a lot of fires lately and not sure when it's going to end, this is a really great sign that officially, at least for the upcoming month, we are leaving this energy behind, this death and destruction I'm hearing. So let's see what we're moving towards this month. Okay, all right. So 10 of Wands. It is not the best energy. It's not like we got the Star card, which usually comes after the Tower. What we have here is the 10 of Wands. And it is more work, but the 10 is, like I was just saying, things coming to fruition. So whatever you're moving towards this month, whatever has been happening that has felt very overwhelming, I think just take this as a note to say like, okay, like you made it. This is the end of that particular cycle, you're going to be able to put down all of these emotional, I'm hearing like emotional bandwidth. So it feels like maybe you were even feeling a little burnt out over the past month or more. And at this point, we're getting to the time where you're going to be able to put some of that stuff down. So it's going to be time to allow yourself to release the things that have felt really heavy in your life, that have felt like, oh my God, I'm just continuing to climb this never ending mountain. Like, when is it going to end, right? There's both this like free falling, but then the constant work of like picking yourself back up and like continuing to push forward, right? And, you didn't feel like maybe you didn't let everything fall apart because you're still here, you're still standing, you're still moving forward, but it definitely felt like, when is this going to end, right? When is the tumble of this particular cycle going to end? Because we're just like really ready for it to end. I'm ready for it to end. Is it over yet? So it looks like this month it is coming to an end now with fire, right? So we've got the fire here and we've got wands, which is the fire element. There is a bit of a risk for explosion, especially when we've got all of these wands coming together, right? So be careful in the upcoming month. Like, don't light any matches. Don't let any sparks get out of control. Like, just kind of keep moving forward, and you're going to get to the end of it, and you're going to be able to breathe, relax, and again, like start new. Because after 10, we go back to 1, right? And 1 is where all that like fresh inspiration and excitement and energy starts to really come into play. So I would say this is like the last month that this journey that you have been on over this past, however long this has been going on for you. For me, it feels like the tower, like it wasn't just like a quick thing. Like, this is maybe like an ongoing situation that's coming to fruition for you. So take this again as a really great sign. I'm also being called to all these little tiny leaves, right? I know that in the US, we are in the season of fall. However, what I love about this is that to me, they're looking like fresh blooms, right? So like, we're so close. We're so close to getting that new beginning and that new start that you have been really looking towards. So keep going, and things are going to be wrapping up. Let's take a look at the overall theme, and I'm actually going to switch decks really quickly. Overall theme of the month. This is Clefairy Reads The Wisdom of the Oracle, and this is a deck that I really enjoy working with a lot. Let's see what our theme is. A message in a bottle. Okay, so listen, things are coming, things are arriving. You will be getting those signs. Look for those signs, those signals, those pieces of information that you're waiting for to arrive. If you are waiting to hear back from someone on something, expect that to come through this month. This is also a little bit about like getting rid of our baggage, right? Like kind of shoving, it's almost like a purging, right? Of like, what do you actually put in this bottle? Like, what would your message be to the person who receives it? It's probably something like a little secretive, something that you're just like ready to let go of so that you can move on. So how can you start to just like admit to yourself what it is that you're ready to let go of? And then kind of like just like send it out there into the ether. You don't have to be telling other people what it is you want to release in order to feel that release. I say this a lot with forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the other person. The forgiveness is for you. So that's kind of the idea behind this, where what is it that you want to send out into a bottle and just like get rid of it, get it off your chest, but you don't have to be proclaiming it out into the world. This can still be something that is just between you and yourself, that you're just kind of ready to let go of. I love it. I love all this like sea imagery. So for you, it might be really a time to get in touch with water, like even if it's like a late beach trip. Right now I'm in Colorado, and I love the hot springs, but I also am really big on baths if you have a hot tub near you. Any way you can immerse yourself in that water element. Water is very cleansing. So again, get whatever this was that you're kind of holding on to, like what else is there for you to let go of, and how can you start to release that? So Epsom salt baths are fantastic for a detox. I take them pretty regularly when I'm feeling a little stressed and overwhelmed. So highly recommend. All right, what opportunities for growth are coming this month? King of Swords in reverse. That is the upside down position. I'm hearing like keeping things to yourself a little bit. So I know we talked a little bit about like, don't like start a fire, stay away from the sparks, right? There's a lot of wood here. We're settling things down. Don't go and start things up again. I really feel that very, very strongly. Like the King of Swords is he's very direct. His communication can be a little stern. He can be a little persuasive, right? The Swords suit is all about communication, our words. Could be verbal communication, could be written communication, could be texting, whatever that communication looks like for you. I'm hearing like swipe right, swipe left if some of you out there are in the dating realm. Try not to go overboard with the communication. I'm also hearing like, don't feel like you have to cut everything and everyone off to get to where you want to be. Like sometimes things are just better left unsaid. And that can always be a hard line to find. But again, if you're talking to someone and you feel like you're talking to a wall, like, is that really getting you what you need out of the situation? Or is it better just to kind of back off a little bit and just accept things for how they are, and don't feel the need to over explain yourself? That could be something, right? Women are always saying, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Like, screw that. Like, you're not sorry. Like, stop saying sorry. You don't have to be sorry for being a human being, So don't feel like you have to over communicate this month as you come. Like, decide, like, is that a conversation we really need to have? Or is it just something that I need to accept about the situation as it is and just let go and move on? I'm hearing something about closure. If you are someone who feels like you need closure in order to move on, I want you to take this as like, if this is something that related to dating, if they have left and they just kind of ghosted you, like that is your closure. Take that as their closing statement. There is nothing else that you need to know from them. It's not going to benefit you. It's probably just going to hurt more. So take that as their answer. Take that as the final conversation and move on from that. Okay, I know that is so hard to do, but I'm just hearing that if that is something that's coming up for you, just know that might be all the closure that you're going to get. What do we need to release this month? Three of Cups, again in the reverse. If you have been out this past month, or this past year, really like partying a little too hard, or like drinking a little too much, just like anything you've been doing in overabundance. And it could even be like, it's not usually about work, but it could be about work. If you've been spending too much time with your coworkers and not enough time with your family or by yourself, if you've been overeating, over drinking, over going out, overspending, any of those that is something to work on this month. It is maybe a little bit time to spend a little time solo. As we go through these tower moments, it's not uncommon for us to rely on those coping mechanisms, right? Whatever that mechanism is for you specifically, we do that, right? Because that's comfort for us. It's how we get through. But we're moving on from that. The tower is gone. And now it's just a little bit of hard work before we get through this. So what do you need to kind of reel back in to create a little more balance in your life this month? And that is what you need to release. Let's talk about what challenges. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So 3 of Swords is about heartbreak. It is a little bit about grief. It's really about moving through some of those heavy emotions that come up when we are going through situations. So as you've been going through this, if this is about a breakup, if this is about, it doesn't even have to be a personal breakup. I mean, this could be like, I lost my job, right? That is grief. I lost a parent, a pet. That is grief, right? Moving through all of that is very difficult. So this month, it's really like, if you're feeling like there are some things coming up that you need to work through, then that is definitely a challenge this month. And slow down. The process of grieving and healing, this is really the card of healing, the things that are affecting us the most, it takes time, right? It takes time. The Knight of Swords, like, he's a fast mover. He is always on the move. But when we see it in this reverse position, it's like, slow down. Like, guys are like, whoa, Nelly. Like, oh my God, slow your horses. Like, so many. My guides can be a little cheesy. Just take a breath, and we have to sit with the uncomfortableness in order for the uncomfortableness to go away. So that doesn't mean like wallow in the uncomfortableness, which I'm calling myself out here. I am a wallower, but it does mean we have to slow down in order to process what may have been happening here and what continues to happen. You know, there can be some residual side effects from the tower moments that we just haven't quite gotten through. We don't always know what's totally happening for us here. So especially if we've been, doing some maybe less than healthy coping mechanisms to help us get through it, we have to stop the coping mechanisms and just sit for a bit. This is also, we've got the 2 swords in reverse. It's like we need to do some internal reflection. We need to be talking to ourselves a little bit more. How can you treat yourself better? How can you talk to yourself nicer so that you can move through this in a way that is gracious and caring to yourself, instead of just beating yourself up about what coulda, shoulda, woulda happened, right? We can't control other people. We can only control ourselves. And sometimes that's the hardest part of it, is that, when it comes down to it, we realize that we are in control of our destiny and how things work out for us. And so that internal talk is actually really important. It's just really important for us to make sure that we are treating ourselves with care, especially as we move through difficult emotions. And any advice? So many swords. Ace of Swords, this is the card of success. So look, the advice is like, you're going to get through this. This is going to blow over. And like I was talking about earlier, new energy, new ideas, I'm hearing personal power is going to be born out of this fire that you are coming out of this month. So keep holding on, keep doing what you need to be doing. These leaves always remind me of like, just shake it off, right? So like throw on Taylor Swift and, like dance it out, shake it off. Like don't shake it off in the not processing way, but shake it off and like, just like realize that you were better than what this situation created for you. And there are better things coming up for you. This card is literally the card of success. So even though right now it might feel a little bit difficult and you're getting a little bit of relief, and now we have to deal with the situations we created for ourselves when we were going through the difficult situation. But listen, like we're coming out of it. We're coming out of it. Look, this is the only major arcana card in the entire deck. the major arcana cards are the really big challenges that we face in our life. Those are the things that feel almost insurmountable when we're moving through them. And the rest of this, minor cards, little day-to-day hiccups. So whatever has felt really big and really hard, like you're moving through it, and you're going to do it by talking to yourself in a way that really supports your future self and the life that you want to create for yourself, rather than sitting in the negativity that might be surrounding you in this situation. And that's okay. It's okay to feel bad, right? It's okay to feel bad about stuff. That's life. We're here to have all of the emotions, not just the positive emotions, but it's about how you move through the emotions that will dictate how great your next chapter can be. And this card is telling me that there is unlimited possibilities for you to create something new for yourself and step into this new chapter. But we have to kind of wrap up and finish all of this stuff that's kind of been causing a little chaos, a little havoc, a little like, oh, I just had it, like this like lost and undecided energy that's maybe been swirling around a particular part of your life for you. I just want to pull one more card. Yeah. Perfect. Community. I know I wouldn't have gotten through this year if it wasn't for all of the different types of people I have in my life, not just my friends, not just my family, but my coaches, my other coaches, my therapist. Reach out to those people who I've known for a long time, people who I just met, who became confidants for me over this past year. Reach out, form that community. You know, you would be surprised at how many people are going through very similar things or have been through very similar things as you, where as soon as you open up, all of a sudden you find so many more people. But it does take that vulnerability sometimes to be able to really connect with other people. So find your community, reach out to them, and spend time in that community. And it doesn't have to be like a group of people, right? It doesn't have to be like I have this tribe of people. Most of my people are completely unconnected to each other. They're just the connections that I have made with various people throughout various points of my life. And I would encourage you to think of your community as like a spider web with like you in the center, and all of these people who you have the ability to reach out to when you need it. And yeah, I promise you there's people out there who want to support you through this process. So thank you for hanging out with me today. Let me know in the comments if this resonates for you.